And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, I'm your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's the 25th of June, 2026. Hope you are having a good day. In case you don't know, as always, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. The markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the people making the decisions on our life throughout the country, from federal to state to city, and anything else that comes to mind. And if you do not get this show in your city, this radio show, we will post it at GaryK.com, also on our X feed. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. Just put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice. We'll be nice back, as long as you're respectful and you don't like Hamas. And we'll put it on the Biz TV YouTube channel also. Let me read a few things to you. Calls for defunding the police and abolishing prisons. Calls white women ugly colonizers. Said not a single deportation, including of criminals, is justified. Called the police pigs. Called U.S. service members war criminals. And said the U.S. is a disgrace of a country. Said she would use the American flag as a napkin. The day after the October 7th attack in Israel, celebrated the slaughter of Israeli civilians at a rally the day after. You got that? Because that's just number one. How about this one? Appeared at rallies wearing Hamas headbands. Let me repeat that. Appeared at rallies wearing Hamas headbands. By the way, this is not third hand. There's pictures. Supported a Palestinian Islamic Jihad member and called convicted Al-Qaeda and Hamas financiers imprisoned heroes. The second one won a primary for the New York State Senate in Queens. Did you hear that? The first one I mentioned won a primary candidate for Congress. We already know about the mayor of New York, who, by the way, endorsed these two. Oh, by the way, they hate Israel and hate Jews. When asked on TV about being accused of being a communist, she said, pretty much, she didn't say she was, but people have to act in the way they need to act to combat, which of course, combat capitalism. You know, we've had Bernie Sanders, an avowed socialist. Donald Trump is a socialist. That doesn't bother me. And before you email me about me saying Donald Trump is a socialist. Of course he is. You don't think so? 2-point-something trillion dollar deficits, massive increase in government spending and government. He keeps saying we're cutting these other areas of government, which they are, but we do things in total here. Oh, how about taking positions in companies? Pure socialism. But there's, believe it or not, real bad socialism and bad socialism. Donald Trump's socialism is bad. Oh, and by the way, Donald Trump hikes taxes. What? Well, tariffs are taxes. And every time he announces a tariff, your taxes go up. What do you mean my taxes go up? Well, a company pays those tariffs, and that comes out of the economy. Well, we are the economy. But Gary, isn't the economy good? Well, it would be better. But I digress. You see, Bernie Sanders, for me, I don't worry about him. I worry about these others. Let me explain why. I don't think Bernie Sanders hates the country. I don't think he wants to turn it into something like they want to do. I think he's got problems. I think he's full of crap. These people scare the hell out of me. Growing in power, these people, from the mayor of New York City got voted in. And he's an avowed hater of Israel and the Jews. And just so you know, their great excuses, no, it's not the Jews, it's just Israel. Horse crap. You now have 3 more, I didn't even bring up the third, avowed communists and haters of Israel and Jews, racists. One wore a Hamas. Are you frickin' kidding me? This worries me. People are voting for these people. And I do know that when you go to the ballot box, you see an R and a D and you're an R, you just go R, and you see a D, if you're a D, you just press D. But this is D against D. And they chose the America that, just so you know, it's not just the Jews, it's Christians and the West. They've said it. They've hung around with those people. They're wearing Hamas stuff. And you already have the mayor of New York City. I think there's one in Seattle running that joint. I'm worried. I'm worried about voters. That's your choice? Oh, I'm going to pick the person who's wearing Hamas headband and celebrated the day after October 7th? I'm worried about this proliferating. By the way, these people wouldn't get 8 votes in my district. And I'm bringing this up because I think long term. I think long term. I have sons. I have a grandson. And I'm thinking long term. What would these people want to do if they got in power? Abolish the police and get rid of prisons? And if you are illegal here and you commit crimes, no, you're not getting deported? One of them was asked about what happened to the Jewish congressman that lost to one of them. He was kicked out of a coffee shop in Brooklyn. And the mayor was asked. And you would think the mayor would say, well, that sucks. And we're going to look at the justice division of our state and see what we can do about this. Well, you know. If that was a Muslim or a black getting kicked out of the coffee shop, what do you think he would have done? And rightfully so. I'm worried. We'll put a bow tie on this as best as we can up next and much more. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, I really do worry, where the hell are we going? Where are we going? And I was watching my friend Dagan McDowell on Fox today, and was interesting that, and by the way, she is I believe conservative. I believe she's Republican, but conservative is the more important word. She actually said something I believe, that Trump opens the door for this with his socialism. But not the bad stuff. That's not on Trump. You now have New York City, I think Seattle, Portland. We've had some crazies in California. You had somebody running Oakland just into the frickin' ground. You got wealth taxes being promoted, even though they see the wealth running for the hills. Just call me worried. Longer term, these few are nefarious. I don't think AOC is nefarious. I think she's a control freak, Marxist communist, and that's bad. These people are nefarious. You celebrate Hamas? What do we say here on the show? Unless you... We'll keep you informed. They will go up against the other side now, but they're in blue country. They're in blue country. Blue frickin' country. I thought it was worth noting because, holy crap. And you probably should read about it. All right, let's continue. All right, I'm going to do tidbits, but important tidbits. You ready? Apple. Apple was down $18 today and is down a little in the aftermarket and cracked the 50-day moving average today badly on 144% of volume. They have to raise prices on their, what is the Max? I wrote it down somewhere. Come on, Gary. And iPads because of the memory prices that has Micron stock flying. Smacked. What does that have in common with Amazon? Amazon is a top 8 name. It's part of the Mag 7. That was down 7.25 today, breaking the 200-day moving average. What do those two have in common? Google was down another $2 today. Was worse, but that just broke down near term. What does that have to do with Microsoft? Those three, well, Microsoft is a top 7 and 8. Down $12.50 today. Are you ready for this? A new yearly low for Microsoft. Do you know it was $466 3 weeks ago? It's $352 today. What does Meta have? Oh, it's a top 7 and 8. Meta was down another 15 today to 542. What does that have to do with NVIDIA? Well, NVIDIA is number 1. NVIDIA was down another 3 and change today. Worsening after getting clonked in the last few days. And after topping at 236 about 6 weeks ago, and what does it have to do with Tesla? Well, that Tesla's top 10, that was flat today, but it just dropped from 453 to 375. Unbelievable what's going on. And today, the NASDAQ was down 118 today, but the NASDAQ 100 was up 220. Why? Well, we explained it to you. The NASDAQ 100, which has such influence from the names I just mentioned, is getting much more influence from the AI and semis. And guess what? The SOX was up 482 today. Big 482. And interesting enough, it was kind of gagging. And then about, with 7 minutes to go, and by the way, I'm not making this up. I'm telling you how crazy things are. It was 13,800. It went up 140 points in the last 7 minutes to get it to 482, which is a strong day on the day. Did open up at about 14.2. So it was up 260. It was up 740 at the open. That's the story there. Micron up 165, SanDisk up 400 and change. It's a $2,300 stock. These semiconductor equipments that just gapped down 2 days ago, ASML up 75, AMAT up 78, CLAC up 18, just did a 10-for-1 split. Lam Research up 26 and MKSI up 29. Amazing contrast, and we're not done. Software. Well, we already mentioned. Oh, by the way, did I forget Oracle, which is not in the NASDAQ? Do you know Oracle today was down another $5? Do you know Oracle's gone from 250 to 152 in 3 weeks? Holy crap. Not to mention SAP at new yearly lows. I didn't even mention that. Or Salesforce.com again. And Adobe again. Those are the big software names, but it's not just the bigs. It's the smalls and mediums. They crushed them today. I have never seen a chasm, ever, like we are seeing between the haves and have-nots. Yeah, the haves-nots. The have and have-nots in software and in the whole technology space. Not even close. Up next. I don't know if I'm hearing music or not. No. And then we find out Oracle. And herein lies maybe the issues. Free cash flow fell to minus $23.7 billion in fiscal 26 as capital expenditures surged 162% to $55.7 billion for Oracle. To fund this build-out, Oracle raised $43 billion in debt and $5 billion in equity, and has since announced plans to raise another $40 billion, while cutting 21,000 employees over the last year. I guess the market doesn't like that. And I guess they're throwing, what do they say, the baby in bathwater? Up next, we'll take this on a little more and get to the other side. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, let's just think back a couple of years. You own Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, NVIDIA. You're swimming in money. Now you're in quicksand. Unreal. And as I looked at my software screen to my left, APP down, I would do percentages, but the whole software screen is obliterated. Now there's a few software names that are stronger. Software security like CrowdStrike, Fortinet, Palo Alto Networks. And maybe there's a couple of others that gapped up on earnings that in shape but did nothing after gapping up. And man, are we watching. But all that money. Somebody said on TV today they think that source of funds that they use in the software to just keep buying those other areas. I think we had mentioned that we think that's what's going on. That's a good 3 words, source of funds. So, we keep avoiding that big stuff. Which takes me to crypto, because it was down again today. But, holy crap, MicroStrategy was down another 9% today. I can tell you that the Bitcoin was only down 1%. Guess what's happening with the MicroStrategy? Leverage. We think that leverage may be coming off now, and you are welcome. Our worst fears, and they were fears, have come to fruition. And we don't predict, but we outline. And we just simply said to you, well, what if? How the hell does this thing not get destroyed if Bitcoin takes a big haircut? Oh, and by the way, the last bear market had Bitcoin down 75%. We said that when Bitcoin topped out in November of last year. Let us repeat. We hope you listened. MicroStrategy is now gone since last July. Holy crap, of 457 to 85. And this yutz of a CEO, much ado about nothing. I gotta tell you, he seems like no big deal. No big deal. We're good. Everything fine. I've seen his interviews. It's stunning. And by the way, and I just noticed, I notice things. So, somebody on Twitter, or it's now X, put up a picture, and it's not dated, but it's a picture of Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy. And listen to what the front cover says. You ready? The Bitcoin Alchemist. Why Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy is a brilliant blueprint for manipulating traditional finance to harness the pixie dust of cryptomania. I never saw this, by the way. If I had saw it, I would have been screaming at you. By the way, this was the cover of Forbes. I'm going to guess it was a year to 2 years ago. Since that front cover, 75% drop. You're welcome. Our worst fears of a leveraged entity of something that has no earnings, sales, products, or services, yet touted to you like the second coming. And you do know that, right? You do know they were touting the living crap out of this. To you. People going on TV smiling. Crypto, crypto, crypto. And I'm sitting here saying, I hope they're right. But there's no sales, no earnings, no product, no services. And you know who they made fun of? Charlie Munger. He's passed away, partner of Warren Buffett, and he used some 4-letter words to describe it. But just basically, he wasn't talking price. He was talking about the fundamentals. No sales, no earnings, no product, no services. So I think the leverage is now doing the job because it really got hit today. And you're welcome also on Coinbase. That's gone from 444 to 142 in that same time frame from last July. That's really, and by the way, all the other crypto stuff. I just noticed one that came public at 18 in January. They opened it up at 24.5. They closed it at 18.5. It's $4.80. Operates an online infrastructure company that allows secure, manage, and utilize digital assets. Yeah. Do you notice the president doesn't call himself the crypto president too much right now? You know they haven't even brought it up. Smart. So, in real time, I don't know what happens from here. I don't know what happens tomorrow. It just remains in a bear market. And right now, unwinding. Especially the leveraged micro strategy, which is called strategy. Tidbits. China stocks just getting destroyed. The two most famous ones, Alibaba, looks like the crypto. Just so you know, Alibaba in the last 5 weeks, 147 to 95. Baidu, same time period, 152 to 104. And by the way, that's from a lower high. And the ETFs for China, new yearly lows. So I don't know what the hell's going on there, but boy, oh boy, is it gross. Froth still coming off the nuclear and all that, even though the president came out and said quantum this and quantum that. In the past, the president says quantum, it would go up big, now it's going down. The space stocks off of SpaceX, just getting hammered. SpaceX, I was only down another $1 today. And again, we still have absolutely no edge on it except to stay. It's still at a $2 trillion market cap with $18 billion in revenues, but I'm sure they're going to grow. And we're not even in a bear market. Tidbits. But the money flows. Just letting you know. Housing, though it came off the highs today. Money flows. Airlines came off the highs today. Recently, the cruise lines, but didn't do much today. Better pharmaceuticals, but I only have a couple of strong names. I take it back. I have 3 names that look good. Merck looks like it's going to break out. AbbVie's another one. Little better into the medicals, but well, the managed care stocks better. United Health, and some medicals sticking out. Money flows. Regional banks, much better action in regional banks, but the big story, the semiconductors had a very good day. They opened up hot and they sank like a stone, recovered. Up next, we will cover that on this, the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. And I just found a semiconductor stock that's being bought out after the close, Synaptics. Looks like at a 40% premium, SYNA. And I believe it's by a company called onsemi. Oh, onsemi. I know that one. Okay, that's symbol ON, I believe. ON. And that's down because looks like they're going to be, I can't tell if it's a merger or what have you. I guess we'll find out overnight. Yeah, it's down about $8. So anyway, so action in the semis. So Micron just blew away Wall Street numbers. Opened hot and immediately sold off. Cut in half. Finished better. The equipment stocks, of course, with the talk of how many had a strong day. Others did not. And there's still some ones that are what I call been lost, have broken support levels and probably done. But those numbers, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. And I think SanDisk the same. The money flowed into transports. Even oil went up today. FedEx bounced $12, JB Hunt $5, Norfolk Southern 8. The rails better day, and they got hit recently. I mentioned the medicals. Oils bounced a little bit too. The metals and mining had a good day, but most metals and mining stocks look like crap. But the steel stocks are in shape. The regional banks had a good day. Economically sensitive, the best names, GWW, URI. I'd throw CMI in there. Advanced declines were, with the NASDAQ 100 up 220, the advanced declines were negative, and there were more new yearly lows than yearly highs on the NASDAQ. Tells you a lot. By the way, a lot of new yearly lows in software. On the New York, almost more new yearly lows than new yearly highs. And in the Dow, so you've had a little better action in some restaurants. When you have a chance, go look at McDonald's. It's been slaughtered. And that finished at new yearly lows today. There's so much jello moving on the plate, I don't even know where to start. Disney in the Dow, rolling over badly, and boy, that's been a bad stock for a long, long time. Goldman Sachs, the banks were better today, but Goldman Sachs today, get this, hit a high of 1105, closed at 1065. $50 from early in the day. But the big store in the Dow is Apple. Caterpillar was, you ready for this? 410 Dow points today. The Dow was only up 71. Apple down 18. That'll be 40, up like 120 Dow points. Goldman down 11, about 70 Dow points. Microsoft down 11, 70 Dow points. McDonald's down 9, 60 Dow points. Fortunately, United Health was up 9. That's 60 Dow points. Walmart gagging. Retail's been better, not Walmart. Rolling over badly. Ross Stores today topped out, broke down. So some retail little on the iffy side, but Victoria's Secret looks like it wants to move higher. Again, lots of jello moving on the plate. That's the best way I can describe it. Today was one of those days, and just weird as all hell. What hasn't changed? Avoid China. Most software, except those ones I mentioned, the crypto and crypto anything, the froth stuff in nuclear, drones, quantum, rare earth, they're getting beaten to a pulp. The Mag 7, which kind of like is the Mag 8 or 9. SpaceX, we're not calling that, we're just saying we have no edge, and you know what we think valuation-wise. And retail. I've got about 6 retail stocks that are acting well. Was 7, but Ross Stores go bye-bye. The rest of the retail, even with oil dropping and yields dropping look terrible. Terrible. Housing related, much better. Much better. We'll see how it plays out. Casinos, complete avoid. A void. And Dow stocks, Nike, Disney, yikes, Walmart, Apple now, Amazon, Salesforce.com, Microsoft. I wouldn't trust IBM from day to day. Do you know IBM went from 212 to 332 in about 8 days? Back down to 245 in 9 days? It's trading like a penny stock. Nvidia, with their great accelerating numbers, acting like it's acting like the Mets pitching in the first 2 innings of every game right now, as they've just given up 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Starting pitching for the Mets are killing me. Nothing new on the Middle East today. Always good to see that. Nothing new. Let's hope that continues. I think we're covered. You'll have a great evening now. Drive carefully when you get home. Do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise they will be well. Have a great evening, everybody. Good night.